Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Goffstown High School. My name is Scott Gross, and I'm joined by Hall of Fame coach Bill Ruel. Bill, welcome. Big matchup today.
It is, Scott, and the one good thing about it, we just played this team maybe 2 weeks ago. We beat them 7-4. It's a team that can be beaten. There's no doubt about it. But again, we've got to play one of those games. You've got to play a smart game. You can't toss the ball away. You can't make offensive mistakes, defensive mistakes. This team will take advantage of that. I was impressed when I went down to Sanborn to watch the game. They'll fight you. They'll fight you all the way through.
Yeah, so Goffstown faces the Sanborn Indians, and Goffstown comes in as the 7 seed in this year's Division II girls softball tournament bracket. Sanborn comes in as the 10 seed. I was talking to Coach Matt Fleming yesterday, and you know, he likes Goffstown's chances today. He likes the bracket, the side of the bracket that Goffstown is in. They have played well against many of the teams that are in that side of the bracket, although they did lose to John Stark. They ended up beating Pembroke. So there is a path to the championship for Goffstown, but it really all boils down to the key question: what team shows up for Goffstown? They have showed in certain games almost brilliant play, where defensively they played a clean game, hit really well, and then there are other games where things kind of fell apart, and the bats go. They go dry. So really, it depends what type of team shows up today. And speaking of that, the weather for today is absolutely gorgeous. It's about 75 degrees. Not too much wind as we start the game off. So leading off for Sanborn will be the left fielder Paige DeRocher, and pitching for Goffstown is Shannon Gifford. Behind the plate is Alex Page. And in a couple of minutes, I'll go around and we'll introduce the defensive starters for Goffstown. And that first pitch is a ball, and both first and third baseman, actually everybody is in except for the second baseman, Coyle. So they're looking for a potential bunt here. And that's a little bit high for a 2-0 count. You know, I think the key for Gifford is actually, making sure she calms down and pitch strikes.
Get in rhythm.
Right, and get in rhythm.
That's a
and
good
she
pitch.
Puts one right by DeRocher, and that's now a 2-1 count.
DeRocher, the last time they played him, she was 0 for 4. Ooh.
And that was a little low, but umpire called that one at the knees, so that's a 2-2 count, evens it up. So it looks like the way he's been calling in these first 4 or 5 pitches, and she was after a high one for a K, is that he's probably going to call the low strike. He's not so generous on the high one. So in steps the catcher, Maggie Rasmussen, number 18.
She was 1 for 4. She scored 1 run.
And she swings and misses at that first pitch. That's in the dirt, gets by the catcher. So defensively for Goffstown at first base, we've got Kaylee Mullen. At second base is Tegan Coyle. Justine Watterson's at short, and Liv Brennan is at third. That's also in the dirt for a 2-1 count. In right field is Danielle Vermette. She's going to be a flex player. Center fielder is Kara Lendry, and in left field is Emily Peterson. And that is a 3-1 count now. So Gifford has been a little bit erratic, shall we say, these first 2 batters. She struck out the first one, but she has not been sharp in terms of pitch and strikes. And that's also low, and that's a walk. And that's where you got to be careful. And that's probably a little bit of jitters by Gifford. It's an in steps Nicole Castellano, the third baseman. And let's see if they try to set up a bunt here to get a runner in scoring position. In these playoff games, you try to scratch and claw, get runs any way you can. And that's also in the dirt. So
Castellano was on base 3 times.
Yeah.
She had 1 hit. So she's somebody you have to watch.
So Brennan is about a step in at third. That's right in there for a strike to even out the count at 1-1. Mullins in about a step at first. I'd like to see her guard the line a little bit more.
Another good pitch.
And that's another, right, she took a little off that one. That's now evens it up at, I'm sorry, it's a 1-2 count. I apologize, with one out here in the top of the first. And she strikes out. That's Gifford strikes out Nicole Castellano for the second out of the inning. And in will step Nicole Pitts, the center fielder.
Pitts had 2 hits in the last game.
Are we going to get a pinch runner? We are. So the catcher is going to get substitute. And that's going to be Brianna Tallarico will run for the catcher, Rasmussen. And Pitts, now what did she do in that last game?
Pitts had 2 hits.
Okay, so
she was on base
so she's a weapon.
Times, yeah.
So she's a weapon. And they, and again, you got to know that Coach Fleming and his staff, they're pretty good at scouting. So they're going to know who did well and who didn't. And that hits her.
Same
Dead
thing
ball.
happened. Same thing happened at Sanborn. She got hit.
So in will come Brooke DeRoche, the second baseman, now with runners at first and second base. So Gifford's a little bit off her game right now. She seems like she's, listen, it's her first playoff game that she has pitched in.
This is the girl you got to watch. She hammered a home run at Sanborn to straightaway center field.
And this is where that's high, and she goes after it, though. She did go. She did go, and they didn't call that. I'm shocked.
Guys asleep out there.
Wow. That was a no-brainer call for me. I don't know about you, Bill, but.
Come on.
So it's a 2-0 count now. And you got to be careful, as you said, to Brooke LaRoche, and that's a high one. That's going to get by her. So now I think you walk her in this situation. Don't let her beat you with her bat. So just intentionally walk her and let Abby Brennan. Let's see if they'll do that. It's a 3-0 count. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
I agree with you.
That's in there for a strike, 3-1, and I guess no one's listening to me. Especially if you know a player has hit a home run against you, you kind of have to play your odds a little bit. And I don't know what the next player did. So 3-2 count. So Gifford battles back here.
Next player struck out 4 times.
Yeah, so the odds are in your favor. And she goes after it.
So good battle. Good battle.
A good battle by Gifford, though. But she got bailed out. I gotta be honest with you. Gifford got bailed out because this girl took swings on 2 high pitches, and so not the greatest start for Shannon Gifford. But she gets through it with 3 Ks, a walk, and a hit by pitch, I should say. So we go into the bottom of the first with Tegan Coyle leading off. So hopefully that was just first inning jitters.
I know this doesn't go out to St. Thomas, this broadcast, but I think we got to wish Abby Bass the best. She tore her ACL in the last game of the season.
What an awful thing. And, one of the – I would think that Abby Bass would be in contention for Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And just had a phenomenal pitching career at St. Thomas. And she hit a home run here. So in Goffstown, she just dominated Goffstown when she came here. Actually, 2 years in a row, she dominated them. So, wish her a speedy recovery. And that's just horrible. So, Bill, I understand that you were at the Hall of Fame, Goffstown Hall of Fame, Well, he was previously inducted, but this is another opportunity. This was the girls' basketball team, right, of 1988?
87, 88.
87, 88, back-to-back state champs, and that's quite an accomplishment, Bill. And we were joking around earlier off the air And we were saying, man, I don't know if Bill could coach this time around. He'd be a toughie, right? You'd be a toughie. You might not.
I don't know how many games I last, really.
Yeah.
Although the kids today have changed, and I think, today a coach has to look a little more into the kids.
Yeah.
They got a lot more going for them than, back then. When the kids came to play, they didn't bring their iPad. They didn't bring their phone with them.
Yeah. All right, so Tegan Coyle steps in. Big hole up the middle if she wants to take advantage of it. And that one, she swings and misses, but the catcher doesn't hold on to it. So that's strike one to Coyle.
The thing with this girl at Sanborn, we got a lot of strikes swinging on high pitches.
Right.
So they got to be prepared.
So she's got a rise ball.
Yeah.
And that's a pop-up to the shortstop. And
It's a
Coyle's going to run this
sunrise.
one out, and
Yep,
she
got it.
gets underneath it. So a nice catch by Allie Gannon. And there's one retired in the bottom of the first. So Gifford steps up. I don't know why the third baseman is playing, halfway up the line. And without a face protector,
Right.
both of them. That is just. I'm sorry, but that's almost negligence. And Gifford takes a big swing and misses.
I went down to Salhegan
This
the other
Gifford
day,
doesn't bunt, right?
No.
Yeah.
and Gifford hit a shot. I'll tell you.
Yeah, but
It
this is. Ugh. It makes me nervous. You see, she got around that one pretty early, but I'm a big proponent of face masks in softball. I've seen too many kids get hit in the head, get concussions, and it's just not a good thing. And you're only talking about, right now the third baseman is maybe 35 feet away. That pitch is high. It's a 1-2 count. It's a 1-2 count, correct?
1-2.
Yep. Trying to keep Brad Parkhurst on his A game.
Thank you.
Rise ball.
That's low for a 2-2 count. And now it looks like the first baseman is now maybe a foot or two ahead of in front of the bag. Third base is still pretty.
Shortstop's pretty
Yeah,
deep.
she's deep. And that's outside. So Gifford with a good eye stretches the count to 3-2. And this is what is good for Gifford. She's got to show that, that kind of that plate discipline. Get her ball and drive it. And she pops it up to the shortstop. And that's going to be trouble. Second baseman comes over and get it. But I didn't hear anybody call on that one.
So we've been under 2.
Yep. And now Liv Brennan, third baseman. I tell you, all it takes is one shot right down the third base line, and that'll put a little bit of send a message to the third baseman not to play so close. And Brennan takes a strike one.
She'll back up once.
Yeah. It's not like Goffstown is a prolific bunting team. Then I'll give it to you. And I was way ahead of that one.
You're doing pretty good with the off-speed pitches.
Yeah. And she swings through
High
that
pitch,
one.
Yep, rise ball game.
Yeah. I've noticed with Brennan that her first at-bats, if we go back in the book, I wouldn't be surprised if you see that. She does better after she sees the pitcher a couple of times. So we're going to go to the top of the second inning, and that we'll have Abby Brennan, the first baseman, leading off for Sanborn.
Again, let's look at this. How much life do you think's out in the field?
How much what?
Life.
Oh,
you know, where people, jumping around, getting ready, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, where is the where's the shortstop?
Oh, no, there.
What's the deal with that? She didn't even get any throws in. And Brennan was slow to come out too. these are opportunities to get, a throw or two in. So we'll start at the top of the second, and Abby Brennan, number 20. She swings through that one.
So she's the one that struck out 4 times.
Yeah. Which is why it was surprising in that last inning, if you do know that, right? Would you intend on a 3-0 count? That was below her knees, and they called that a strike. But why would you do that in a way? I guess, we got lucky and we got through it. But if the odds are that she struck out 4 times, you would pitch to her. And she strikes out. So that's her 5th strikeout against Gifford. So you got to play the book on this stuff. Allie Gannon steps in, number 21.
She struck out 3 times, and then she got on a pitcher's error.
And that almost hit her. So Gifford's been a little erratic today. In terms of outfield, we've got Peterson playing pretty deep.
Molin's in.
Yeah.
Landry's in.
Yeah, Landry's in, and Vermette's normal. That pitch is high for a 2-0 count. And that's a good pitch. 2-1.
Good pitch.
That's fouled out of play. It's interesting too. You can't see it because we only have one camera, but I tend to look at like the feet of our infielders to see like, are they on the balls of their feet? Are they flat-footed? And a lot of them are flat-footed when the ball is delivered. And it's a little subtle thing. That's a strikeout for.
The other thing too is they're really not in a fielding position.
Right.
If you look, they're upright.
Right.
You got to be down. You got to have the glove down.
Pitch is high for ball 1.
Who's this? Tebow?
And this is Tebow, no relation to Tim. Nicole Tebow, the pitcher. And she swings through that one. Evens the count.
She walked 3 times in the game down at Sanborn.
High pitch, and that's what's happened with Gifford today. A lot of, I'm not sure if it's intentional, these rise balls, but a lot of pitches have been high out of the zone. And she's gotten bailed out a few times because the Sanborn players have swung through those high pitches. That's a beautiful pitch. Evens it up. So we got a lot of deuces on the board right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out in the top of the second. And Gifford, number 2 on the mound.
Got her.
And that's it. Nice off-speed pitch. Yep, she changed that one up and got her. That was probably one of her best pitches of the day. And
6 strikeouts.
She struck out the side now. Yeah. I think that's the key for Gifford going forward in her high school career is that she has a pretty good fastball, but she's going to have to change up pitches. She's going to have to keep these batters guessing.
I think they've been working with it, too, because I came in one afternoon and she was throwing, and Emily was with her, and they were working on a certain pitches.
Yeah.
And, you just can't throw a fastball
exactly.
anymore. You got to have something
right.
else.
So joining us up in the booth today, we've got Butch Gifford, as usual. He's our cameraman, and so I want to thank Butch for helping us out on all these broadcasts. We wouldn't be able to do it without him, so thank you very much, Butch. And we've got the ever so popular Brad Parkhurst on the managing the scoreboard, and so I want to thank Brad and Marissa McGarry, she's also here. She's in charge of the musical element of our broadcast, or at least here at Goffstown. It's a beautiful facility. I know, Bill, you travel around and you go to a lot of these away games. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, softball venue in Division II.
I have to agree. I was at Milford, I was at Sanborn, and at Sauhegan, and I think we still have the best of the 3 of those.
So in steps Justine Watterson, the shortstop. That pitch is
Good.
high.
Layoff.
So in that bottom half of the first, Goffstown popped up twice, and then Brennan struck out. So let's see if they can get a base runner here. That's right down the middle. I'm surprised she didn't swing at that one. Ooh, that one looked good, but it wasn't called a strike. That's now a 2-1 count. I think we're equal opportunity when we call these things. So, and that looked just as good as the last one, but it's a 2-2 count. And Watterson's got to take the bat off her shoulder here. I mean, it's been two or three pitches that have been really sweet to hit.
Watch a high pitch here.
Yeah, she's a rise ball, I bet.
Oh.
Even that one looked pretty
God.
good. So, again, we're a little bit off the plate here, so it could be on the outside part of the plate, but we got Brad, who's closer to us, and Marissa, who are also kind of saying, ooh. And then she swings at a rise ball. So that one looked good coming across, but it rose, and she strikes out. Now we've got Kaylee Mullen, the first baseman, number 10. And she's had a pretty good year at the plate this year. Junior. Rise ball is high. I think if you bunt, you might want to think about pushing it to first if you are going to do any bunting, and see if that second baseman can get over there, because she's playing kind of deep. So far, no players have reached base for Goffstown, unlike Sanborn, who had runners at second and third. And Mullen, she holds up on a 3-0 count. So now she is in a spot now to see if she can get a this is where you don't swing. Force the pitcher to throw a strike here. And that is a walk by Mullen. Good at bat. And when you think about Mullen, too, is that, you know, she's a pitcher typically, and this is her first year playing first. She's had a pretty good year. I mean, she's learning the position. It's not an easy position to learn in terms of when to stretch, when not to stretch, foul balls that are kind of over your head. And is anybody at third? Okay, so that we got lucky on that one. So the third baseman is an error. She should have caught that ball. It might have doubled us up, but in this case, it's an error on the third baseman and on Castellano, which now runners are at first and second base, and you'll probably get a runner for the catcher, Alex Page, who laid down a bunt, but it was an elevated type bunt. The third baseman should have caught that ball and doubled up Mullen, but she wasn't able to hang on to it. And we're going to get a runner. I just don't know who yet.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be Sarvella, right? Leah Sarvella?
Mm-hmm.
Number 13, Leah Sarvella.
So Leah Sarvella will be the runner at first base, and Mullen is the runner at second, and Peterson, the left fielder, is now at the plate. Again, the third baseman, Castellano, is in at third, as well as the first baseman, looking for another bunt. And I don't know if Peterson's going to be bunting. I'll put it to you that way.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Oh, that was a strike. So that one looked like that was high and outside, but then again, Goffstown's gotten some calls the other way. So this is a game of give and take, right? Shortstop is playing very deep, and there's a pretty good-sized gap. And Peterson swings really late on that one. So it's a 1-2 count to Peterson.
They got two people.
With Lendry on deck. So again, Goffstown's got a runner in scoring position with Mullen at second.
Riseborough.
And she has a real long swing. I'll tell you something right now that, my critique of the Goffstown team this year is that their swings, half this team, their swing is too long, Bill. It's in this, you need to have a quick
bat.
compact swing. And Lendry takes strike one right down the middle. And I think what I've seen is that there's you can get away with that when you have a slow pitcher, but when you get the fast pitching, you got to just quick bat. And that's what I think Goffstown needs to kind of work on. And quickly, Lendry is in an 0-2 hole, and she struggled this year at the plate. Sala, though, probably one of the best center fielders in Division II. And she fouls one off. Way to hang in there by Kara Lendry.
I wonder if you take the runners and let them go on this pitch.
No.
No?
Oh, to try to set something up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think I would do that. And I say that because the third baseman is so far in. And it
forces will never get there.
Never get there. And it forces her to get set and throw the ball. I think it's a good move, but no. So now it's a 1-2 count. That's a really good point, Bill. And when the third baseman is playing so far in like that.
But this is a pretty good catcher.
Yeah, but maybe do you try?
How quick is your shortstop to get over? That's the other thing.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the play. But and Lendry, she pops it to the shortstop, and that'll do it. So Goffstown's getting a bat on the ball, but they're just not driving it. It's all pop-ups and no hits so far for Goffstown.
Nothing out of the infield.
And I think what you're seeing with these pop-ups is the effect of a rise ball, because that ball is has an upward trajectory, and then your bat gets underneath it. So you get a lot of pop-ups with the rise ball pitcher. So.
Okay. Just walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where is our first baseman? So I tell you, for both the Sanborn and Goffstown players, umpire has a fairly flexible strike zone today, which means that you've got to be just aware of that, which means you got to protect the plate. And you got to it is what it is. And the thing that you always want is you just want, it to be consistent for both sides, and that's been the case all day long. A bunt, nice bunt by Brennan Fields it. And Coyle is over there for the catch. So a great job. Mullen charges in, but Tegan Coyle covers first from her second base position. Brennan hesitated a little bit there, but luckily there wasn't a whole lot of speed going down the first baseline, and they were able to get an out there. But that play looked like it was in slow motion almost.
Yeah.
I like how Tegan brought that glove up to show the umpire.
Who's this batting?
This is number 9. And Brad, who do we have for batter? Paige DeRocher. Okay, that's right. So she's the leadoff hitter. And she struck out in her first at-bat.
Oh, my God.
Oof. Yeah, so Gifford catches a little bit of a break there. That ball looked like it was high and outside. That's called a strike. So he's calling them all over.
It's a flexible zone.
Very flexible. 2-2 count now. I've seen some that were low too, like below the knees, that were called strikes. Yeah. So I call this I call it the Devrient Farm umpiring. This is where you want to get ice cream after the game.
Got her.
And that's a pop-up. That's a tough play. And Coyle is under it. It's a tough play because she's backing up. You got a lot of sun glare. But Coyle does an effective job, gets underneath that one. So speaking of Devrient Farms, Butch, have you had any ice cream yet so far from Devrient's? No. Okay. And that's fouled off.
So this sort of she got on the walk.
Every occasion I'd see Butch at the ice cream stand. He's what are you, a butter crunch guy? What are you? He likes chocolate, he says. So have you tried the Bear Claw? You like that one? Very good. Caramel and cashews and very good.
And this is a paid commercial for Devrient Farms.
No, there's no commercials. You know we can't do that, but that's hit very deep. But Landry is under it, and she makes the grab for the third out. But that was a good poke by Rasmussen, the catcher. Yeah, there is no paid advertising. We don't have sponsors or anything like that. But occasionally, listen, I like to talk about food during, like, the slow times. And I like ice cream. So there's nothing wrong with that. What's your favorite flavor?
I'm a vanilla man.
You're just a vanilla.
Always,
you know something
plain,
that wouldn't surprise me,
Yeah.
Bill. That you're vanilla.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's it.
No cookies and cream.
No.
All right. I was gonna say either that or like for you, like maybe rum raisin.
No. Watching the waistline, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I gotcha. And Brad's probably like a pistachio. What are you, Brad? What are you? What's your flavor?
Well, I am kind of a vanilla guy, but I like to go with cookie dough.
Cookie dough is okay. All right.
Sometimes
You know that doesn't surprise me, cookie dough either, because it's a little bit plain, but yet it's childlike in a way, right? Cookie dough. And Brad, you're kind of like that, right? You're a little childlike at times. I didn't say Play-Doh, I said cookie dough. So yeah. So we head into the bottom half of the third, and Goffstown has yet to have a hit. And Bree Page, who is the designated player, she's batting in the 9 position, and she will lead off here. And again, for Sanborn, the defense is in, except for the shortstop and second, but first and third are in. And that's a pop-up over the head, and that's going to be a fair ball.
Yep.
And a base hit right over the head of the first baseman. So thank you, Sanborn, for playing so close. And that was like a squibber, but that's a hit. And Bree Page gets on base. And now we've got Tegan Coyle. And she bunts.
Oh, shoot.
And she bunts it high, just like Alex Page did. And there was no break there. So Castellano does her job, and she tries to double up. Bree Page at first was unable to do so. But this is all about execution, you know. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't bunt Tegan Coyle in that situation. And I just don't, because I think her bat has been too good to bunt.
And my question, why on the first pitch, too?
Well,
That's the other one. You know?
Right. I don't get that. And I say that because you got Gifford, who's going to, if she gets a hit, and Gifford swings at one like over her head, much to the
She needs a
chagrin
ladder.
of her father.
To the dismay of the cameraman.
That's right.
Also me.
And she pops up another one. That's going to be a tough play for the catcher, but she can get it. And it's in the dugout of Goffstown, so new life for Shannon Gifford. And Shannon is getting underneath the ball a lot over the last few games. I didn't see her in the away game against Sauhegan where she had a home run, but she's been getting underneath it quite a bit. And with a rise ball pitcher, it's not uncommon. Yeah, you got to get on top of it.
It's another high pitch coming. What?
I like the lead that Bree Page is getting at first. And that's also fouled out of play on the left-hand side towards the batting cages here in Goffstown. So it's still a 1-2 count. And I think that Sanborn has the right idea in terms of what Nicole Tebow is trying to do. Give her rise balls all day long.
Yeah.
And that's outside for a 2-2 count. I think Gifford likes to chase those rise balls, and I think that's probably a good move for Tebow. And then plus the fact that if she does hit it, she might get under it. So once again, Shannon Gifford goes into a 3-2 count. Same exact situation happened to her in that first at bat in the first inning, and now it's a 3-2 count. Will Page go? Fouled off. Nice at bat, though, by Gifford to hang in there, and Bree Page is not running.
Here comes a rise ball.
And that's fouled out of play
Underneath
over
it
our
again.
heads. Yeah. You know, but going back to that whole bunt situation before with Coyle is that I think Coyle is one of probably the 3 or 4 players in the team that's actually hitting consistently. I just don't take the bat out of her hand in that situation. But
at least let her see a few pitches, right?
Exactly. Holy cow, that was outside, and Gifford doesn't like the call, but she's polite and professional. She walks away from it, but that was on the outside part of the plate, and she gets rung up. Way out. So, again, tough break for Goffstown there. Brennan now in. She struck out her first at bat. High for ball 1. I'd like to see, Bree Page was taking a better lead in that Gifford at bat. With the first baseman playing in, you can take a massive lead.
Right. Her lead's what the first baseman
exactly.
Is off the
right. It's a 1-1 count with 2 outs to Liv Brennan. We've got a runner at first in Bree Page. That was the same pitch to Gifford, by the way, and that was a ball, just for those of you who were paying attention. And we've got a really good view here of the plate. Again, another super long swing, and I can't just emphasize it enough that the Goffstown batters are just their swings are just way too long, too looping. Outside for now another full count. So Bree Page will be going off on this one. It's a 3-2 count, and she should be off as soon as that ball is released from Tebow's hand. And that's a strikeout. And Bree Page didn't exactly get a rocket start off first base on that one, So Goffstown heads now into the top of the 4th inning, and this is what we were talking about. What team is going to show up? So defensively, it's been Gifford has pitched so well. There really hasn't been that many plays to make in the field, but from a hitting perspective, bats are asleep, and this is what is their nemesis.
Yeah, this is the problem I think we've had over the year. You face a girl that's got a little bit of a speed. She can move the ball around. We don't become selective with what we swing at. And,
Where's our shortstop?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't understand why the players are so late to get out into the field to get some throws. It's just very uncharacteristic. First in our shortstop, and third base was just at bat. And we got another Hall of Famer here, Wake Stillman. Oh my God, this is like this. There's so many important people here. You know, a lot of people know Wake Stillman. He coached for like how many years? 20 some odd years, right? 25. But I'll always remember Wake as the dollar hot dog man. You know, as we were on the board together for Babe Ruth softball, and his legacy was got to keep the hot dog price reasonable, because that's why people like the hot dog. And that one's fouled off. And, and right now the hot dog is Wake. It's only $1.50, still pretty good, and it's one of the best dogs in town.
All right, so this girl struck out the first inning.
A little bit of a late call, but that is a strike, an 0-2 count now.
She swung at a high one last time.
And that's a rocket to center field. That's a hit. Landry quickly gets it in.
Pitts is up now. Pitts was hit by a pitch first inning. I would think she might bunt.
So we got a runner at first base with no outs in the top of the fourth inning. That pitch is high. And again, I want to see Danny Vermette in right field. I mean, with a runner at first, you got to be backing up the line for a potential throw.
I also think we should shorten up a little bit at second.
A little bit elevated there, 2-1 count. That was good pitch. And that ball was nice, but that pitch was nice, but it had a little bit of movement to it. We got a lot of famous people up here. Dave Beliveau, the photographer for Goffstown, is here.
Good pitch.
And that's strike three.
Throw
she should
to
run.
first.
She got to throw to first. You got to. She can't.
Yo, she can't go. There's a runner on first base.
She's out because she cannot run with a runner at first base. She cannot run, but the first base runner is free to do whatever she wants to do. So she advances on that one. So it's a 2-2 count with one out, a runner in scoring position with Nicole Castellano at second base.
This is the girl you got to be careful with.
DeRoche. And that's a strike. But again, I'm saying, why do you want her hitting here? Put her on base, right? The next girl has struck out 5 times in a row, right?
Yeah.
Pop up. Gifford should get this one. She's calling it. And she quickly looks back. So, so this next batter has struck out, 5 times,
5
right?
times, yep.
So pop up to the pitcher for Brooke DeRoche. And now in steps Abby Brennan, the first baseman. And she struggled over her last 5 at bats.
Just got to keep the
got to
ball
attack
down.
her, right? Good sized crowd here for a preliminary. Listen, it's not really quarterfinal, right? It's preliminary, right?
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
High bunt too. I gotta say, you know, bunting was the staple for softball. And I don't know, Wake Stillman is here. I mean, it was like something that you had to do. You had to be a good bunter to play softball. I'm telling you, it's a lost art. Wow, that looked like it was an inside pitch. He calls it a strike. So Gifford gets a break there, a 1-2 count. But I'm telling you, I don't see a whole lot of teams who consistently can lay down good bunts.
No.
And that's foul tip and into the glove. So a nice job by the catcher, Alex Page, and Shannon Gifford gets out of a jam there with a runner in scoring position. But, you know, when you look at Goffstown, 2 bunting situations really didn't execute the bunts all that well. And here we're just not seeing great execution. Yeah. And in these close games where a game could be won and lost by 1 run, getting a runner into scoring position with a good bunt can make all the difference in the world. And again, I just haven't seen it. And I heard Milford did a great job bunting.
They put 2 bunts together.
Yeah.
And we're able to bring a run in.
Yeah.
And that's strange for a Milford team that likes to pound the ball.
Right.
You know?
Well, this is a different Goffstown team, too. Like in the past, the last couple of years, there's been so much offensive firepower for Coach Matt Fleming that he didn't really need to bunt a whole lot.
Yeah,
he didn't need to play a whole lot of small ball. This is a different team. He's got a lot of young players.
And you're scraping for your runs.
And, right, and he is trying to scratch and claw to get runs here and there. So he's trying to do that, but it's about execution.
Ooh, look at this.
Yeah.
You see that girl?
Yep.
Hanging her arm.
Yeah. So we're going to have, let's see, who's leading off
Watterson.
here?
Watterson, Mullen, and Page. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Justine Watterson at bat. Justine was a K the first time around. All right.
So Justine Watterson steps in. And she gets a strike called against her.
Yep.
1-1 count to Watterson. She's got to look to drive the ball. And she gets underneath that one. It's been the story of the game for these Goffstown hitters, right? They can't.
They're like this.
Yeah.
Their hands are this
Yep.
way instead of over.
Same exact thing. And that's surprising. And I say that because that pitch was maybe a foot and a half off the ground, off the dirt. And to get underneath that just didn't make sense, right? It's all about the wrists.
Turn them over.
That's why you're seeing so many pop-ups. Even on that one, underneath that one. Good thing is that Watterson's, got the bat on the ball. But she's in a hole here, 1-2 to
Rise
Tebow.
ball.
You called it. 2-2 count. I think Goffstown needs the smell of the French fries to ignite their bats here. I haven't smelled anything. That is a foul ball. Still a 2-2 count to Watterson. She fouled that pitch off while she was still in the box, so it's dead ball. And she chases that rise ball, and like she did in that first inning, and she goes down swinging. And I tell you, if things got to turn around for these Goffstown hitters, if we're not getting hits from our 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
So Mullen, she drew a walk in her first at bat, and she takes ball one. And she hasn't seen a strike at all from Tebow.
No.
That's the fifth consecutive ball. She walked on 4 pitches.
Rise ball.
6 straight balls to Mullen, and that's a 2-0 count.
Watch her hand in the glove. Yeah.
Whose hand?
The pitcher's.
Oh, in
She
terms of what
fools
she's
with
going to throw.
She fools with the ball.
Yeah.
She's coming with the rise ball. Here it comes. Oh, good.
And that ball's hit to the shortstop and gets it over just in time to beat out Mullen. So shortstop's been very active today. And now Alex Page, she had it was a sacrifice bunt that went off the glove of the third baseman. I think that was in like the second inning.
Yep.
But so far, really, Goffstown has not had any hits, right? One single by Bree Page. But that was a like a little bit of a nubber over the first baseman's head. But it's a hit, I guess. But nothing really has been driven. I'll put it to you that way.
This is true. The only one is one of their players that drove the ball.
And that one is driven well.
Stay at first.
And she's got to stay at first. She takes the turn, which is wise, but that was the best looking hit so far for Goffstown. And a single for Alex Page. So right now, the offense has been the Page sisters, the Page twins, with 2 singles. Leah Sarvella will go in for Alex Page, who had the best hit so far today for Goffstown. But with 2 outs, we've got Peterson, and she had a tough at bat. She struck out in her first at bat. Again, her swing is kind of long, and she's got to swing quicker. That was a good pitch, inside part of the plate, but that was a good-looking pitch by Tebow. Got to keep in mind, too, that Emily Peterson's a freshman. Not too many freshmen make a varsity and start a varsity playoff game. And that's a ball for Peterson. So bright future for Emily Peterson here at Goffstown High School. You know, and you see like the development of these players from year to year, and she's only going to get stronger and become better. And she hangs in there. She's off balance with that swing, but she's able to get a bat on it.
I think she can play almost anywhere in the field.
So now will Sarvella go here? I would send her, but maybe not. Let's see. It's another ball they'll be sending her, a 3-2 count, but let's see what happens. So Peterson. And right down the middle, she goes down swinging. So we head into the top of the 5th inning. This has been kind of I call it the I don't know, superstition-wise, but this has always been the inning where we get into trouble. Goffstown does. So hopefully we can put an end to that little superstition thing. But
no, this part of the lineup hasn't done much.
So when did you graduate from Goffstown?
2012. That was the last year that Coach Hillman.
Oh, really?
all right, so Goffstown takes the field for the top of the 5th inning. We are scoreless, folks, and aside from, there's been some opportunities for both teams with runners in scoring position. Sanborn had the best opportunity with runners at second and third in that first inning. No Goffstown player has reached beyond second base. So, again, not a whole lot of opportunities. I mean, both pitchers have more or less dominated here.
Sanborn only has 1 hit.
Yep. Goffstown only has 2. So this is not been exactly a ton of offensive firepower here. And I think I'm going to come out and say it. I think this is going to come down to who can play the cleanest game at this point, because this could be a 1 or 2 run game and maybe decided, unfortunately, based upon errors. So 21, that's Gannon, right?
Yep. Struck out in the second. Looking.
So the bench is alive for Sanborn, chanting "Allie, Allie" as she leads off the top of the 5th.
Allie Gannon.
And that's a long swing, too. That's a good pitch by Gifford.
Took a little off it, too.
They got to bring in that who's that hitting guy that we used to have here? Rob Anderson. Bring him up. High, a 2-1 count. I'm not sure if it was him or somebody else, but Butch, I was saying that it was that whole quick snap, and that's a 2-2 count. Pitch was high. But I see in a lot of these games as you get deeper into the better teams, if you just stick with that traditional swing, that one looked good, but it's a full count now, and you don't want to walk someone like Gannon right now, who has this is the part of the lineup that struggled. You don't want to do that. And she does.
All right.
So she got into a quick, like 0-2 count, right? And then she
Right.
ended up walking her. So a great at bat
Here
by
comes the bunt.
Ali Gannon. And you will see a bunt here by the pitcher, Tebow. And let's see, Brennan will come in at third. Mullen will come in at first. And now see if they lay down the bunt. And that's a foul ball. Watch out, lady. She wasn't even really paying attention.
Oh, my word.
Now, I'm just shocked and surprised that people who go to softball games have their back to the I'm saying to the field. You know, I mean, look at this woman. There's a couple of women that they're literally their backs are to the infield with a right-handed batter. Gotta be really careful.
Oh, come on.
And that's going to advance the runner. So Gifford, wild pitch. And now Goffstown's in a world of hurt here. It's a 1-2 count, but now you're not going to bunt here, obviously.
No.
But they get a runner in scoring position now with 3 opportunities to bring home a run.
Good pitch.
And that's strike 3 on Tebow. Madison Lovely.
So she was out 5-4. Was it a bunt situation? I think, yeah.
Trying to remember. Yeah, I think so. And that's a strike. And I see Peterson charging in from left field. That's a good sign. And the shortstop
We had it covered.
had that one covered as well.
Going to see it again, too.
Fouled it out of play.
Now just blow one right by her.
So again, a walk and a wild pitch. This is what we talked about. That gets you into a little bit of a trouble here, but 1 out for Sanborn in the top of the 5th inning. Nice stop by Alex Page. She doesn't get behind that ball. Now you got a runner at third. So it's a 1-2 count. And that's great at bat here. Hung in there. That one's going to come off the gym wall.
She's got a
Here at
looping swing,
Goffstown.
too.
She does. I mean, a lot of these players have a long, like looping type swing, which is hard to swing and catch up to these balls. I like that pitch, though. That was a good pitch by Gifford, trying to catch the outside part of the plate and make her chase one. She's got her attacker here.
Got her.
And she gets her. So with 2 outs and a runner at second base, now the leadoff hitter, number 9, Paige DeRocher. She struck out, and what was it?
No, we're up here, number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
Struck out and popped out to second.
Ooh, that looked good. Not called, though. A little bit low, but
Can't let a ball go to the backstop here.
yeah, I would agree. And look, she's playing up in the box. Her stance is up in the box. That's going to be a tough play. And Watterson fires over. That was a very tough play. A lot of spin on the ball. It was like her and Brennan were looking at each other. Now, typically a third baseman on that one will cut it right off and charge it. But Brennan is not really a third baseman by trade, I'm thinking. I think she's more of a catcher who has been converted to third. So that being said, that maybe that's why she was a little bit tentative to cut that one off. But ordinarily, a third baseman would just take control of that one.
I also think probably Watterson's got a stronger throwing arm.
Yep, she does. So we head into the bottom of the 5th. Losing track of these innings here. Game is going by really fast.
You're an hour into it.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you don't really have a whole lot of runners in scoring position.
Landry and Page, and then up top again.
Now, Landry is a good bunter, and she's got pretty good speed as well. I'm curious, would you try to push one to first to see what you can do?
I think we want to get the first person on. That's
yeah, I know. No matter how, right?
Yeah, you got to get somebody on. You got to make their team have to do something defensively.
Let's see here. So Landry, her first at bat, she
flew out.
That's right. She flew out to the shortstop. Pop up to the shortstop. You talk about a player with like a smooth glove, you know, center fielder. She covers so much territory out there.
Yeah.
I'd say, you know, I've been following Goffstown softball for a while. I think defensively she's one of the better outfielders we've had. Again, it's that long swing, and it hurts. And it's another pop-up to the second baseman, and that'll do it for Lendry. So she gets – this is indicative of this rise ball type pitcher, is that you tend to get underneath the ball.
See, I think somebody like Lendry, you put the old batting tee out, and you make her hit on the batting tee so she can drive the ball.
Yeah. So Bree Page, she got a single over the first baseman's head, and she pops one. That's going to be out of play over the dugout of Sanborn. In the dugout? Where did that go? Into the dugout? Yeah. That was dangerous. So Bree Page with one out here in the bottom half of the fifth. And she takes strike two, looking.
I don't think she was ready for it.
Yeah. And now she's got to protect the plate, and here comes rise ball time. This is very similar if you look at the outs in the last game. And she swings over that one. So very similar to the last game in terms of the number of strikeouts for both pitchers. You know, they both were very dominant in their first go-around. So Coyle popped to short, and then she bunted out, I guess, in her second at-bat. And like I said, she's just the way she's been hitting the last, you know, I'd say second half of this season. I just want to put the bat in her hand. I don't want her bunting. And that's coming right back, almost. We don't get too many opportunities up here. Brad Parkhurst was ready, you know.
Needed the fishing net.
Well, you know, he was playing with his AARP card right before trying to catch that one, so. Looking for the discounts. That ball's in the dirt. So, Brad, I got my ARP card.
I've used mine many times.
I don't use it, but I've got it. It's in my wallet. I'm sure I will if I need to get a Holiday Inn discount or something, right, Brad?
I usually get better discounts through the military.
And Tegan
I'm
hangs
just
in there.
I'm looking at Tegan's stance, all right? She's so spread out.
Yeah. We've talked about this in prior games.
Maybe close that front foot a little bit so that you can, you know, stride into the thing. See?
You know, when you go to the plate and when you're in your position, it's one thing, but she doesn't really shorten up this stride, you know, in terms of when she loads, you know. Pop up again, third baseman, pitcher, third baseman gets that one, Castellano, and that'll do it for Goffstown again. Only 2 hits for Goffstown in the entire game, and only one really good one. That was Alex Page had a really good single towards the first base line, but just it's been for both teams just really struggling at the plate. And I would say that the pitching has been very solid. I don't think it's been overwhelmingly dominant, though. Would you? Would you say that?
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't think so. I
mean, there have been opportunities for both these teams to actually, hit the ball.
Maybe we need to show a little more patience at the plate.
I think you don't think we have? I think we have. We've gone deep into the count on some of these.
Yeah. But some of the high strikes we've been swinging at. And they knew from the previous game that she is a high ball pitcher.
Yeah, but I think in fairness to Tebow, I mean, she's got a good rise ball, so it looks juicy as it's coming in, and then it takes off at the end. So I think give her credit, in that respect. Especially as you get, as she's deeper in that count. But maybe you're right on the first couple of pitches.
But again, have we really driven a ball?
No, we have not.
No.
We have not.
No.
With the exception of Alex Page's hit, which was a line
to the
drive.
opposite field.
Opposite field. We have not had a line drive.
No.
Yeah. Everything has been a pop-up. Almost no ground balls, too, by the way. I don't think I think we've had one ground ball to short, maybe. That was it. Could be wrong, but
Yep. One ground ball.
yeah. All right, we head to the top of the sixth. And number 18, Rasmussen, the catcher, and she looks like she's a player. So
Has a walk and then flew out.
Right. I think she's got power to jack one out. You got to be careful with her. She's got a good swing.
You got 2, 3, 4 in the lineup.
Oof. Oh, my goodness gracious. Strike one to Rasmussen. Oh, that one looked like it was on the inside
Ankle
and low.
pitch.
Right, yeah.
Both ways.
Surprised they didn't call that one a strike. But anyway.
On the bounce.
Yeah. 1-1 count. And that also, by the way, we forget about that. In fairness to these hitters, when you have an umpire who's calling a very liberal strike zone, it makes it very hard to hit because you don't know what's coming. And Gifford now goes 3-1 on Rasmussen with Castellano, the third baseman, on deck.
Come on, Shannon, battle this battle.
That's rocketed. That's going to be trouble. Peterson can't get two. That's going to be a double. And
She
no.
only went to first.
Wow.
Thank you.
Why did she not take two?
Coach wanted her.
That's almost shocking.
Number 19, Nicole.
You got to take two on that one. I mean, that thing went into the gap, went to the fence, and you can't get a double. That's amazing.
Here we go. What are they going to do? This is your number 3 hitter. She's got a hit last time up.
Back to Gifford. She should go to second. Why didn't she go to second?
The fielder's choice.
Just as good as a bunt.
Well, that was an opportunity to pick off the leadoff runner, but with the way that Watterson is playing, she wasn't going to get there, and now we go to third. So now the wheels are coming off for Goffstown here. Wild pitch by Gifford that advances the runner over to third. So we got a hit. Fielder's choice gets her over, and now Sanborn is in perfect opportunity here with Nicole Pitts.
You got to get this girl out.
To bring home a run.
Come on, Shannon. Got to have this girl because DeRoche's next batter.
And say, Pitts was hit by a pitch, then what'd she do?
Struck out.
Okay. Another high one. That's 3-0. So I don't know what we're doing here. Because as soon as you walk her, you might as well go to second base because you're not going to get a. Oh, she was.
My God.
Oh my God. You're in right. That looked like it was ball 4 all day long. Gifford gets a break by the umpire. Popped up. This is going to be a run. And that's a run. So a sacrifice fly, run scores for Sanborn. And the way Goffstown's hitting, this could be the difference maker. So, again, let's talk a little bit about the subtle things, okay? We can't get over to second base to get the lead runner on a comebacker to the pitcher, which is a no-brainer in softball.
Mm-hmm.
Then a wild pitch advances that same runner so that in that situation, we would have had that runner would have been on first base. Wild pitch would have been at second base, and then that would have been she would have tagged. But then we have had a runner at third base with 2 outs. So again, it's called clean ball, and we didn't play it.
Yep.
That's a big run.
Nice stop by Page. So Sanborn takes the lead here, 1-0 in the top of the 6th. That one looked good, but not so much the blue. 2-2 count with 2 outs. And that ball's hit to shortstop. Watterson throws over for the third out. But Sanborn scores on a single fielder's choice, followed up by a wild pitch and then a sacrifice fly. And I should have said this, but Danny Vermette made a heck of a play out in right field to catch that ball that was straddling the foul line. And she came all the way over, and that ball was tailing. So she made a spectacular play, but that, by catching the ball, obviously, I was going to give up a run. But
Maybe if she doesn't catch it, it's a foul ball.
I don't think so. I think that ball was going to be a fair ball. Marissa, what did you think?
Awful close.
I said that ball wouldn't have been fair, so if she didn't catch it, that girl couldn't have advanced.
So that you think that ball was in foul territory when she caught it?
It was close to being.
Okay.
But you're right. You're concentrating on the ball.
Yeah. So who's leading off for us here?
Gifford.
Gifford.
I don't know why they would even pitch to her.
You say you'd walk her?
Sure.
I wouldn't. She hasn't had success at the plate. She popped up and K'd.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they're not going to give her much to hit.
I'm just saying though. I just don't. I mean, it's not like she's roped the ball. Her first 2 at bats. I pitched to her with a 1-run game. I don't want to put anybody on. I'm serious. I don't put anybody on. If she beats you, she beats you. They're playing her really deep in the outfield. Goffstown bench is up in the wake here.
Rise ball.
That pitch is high and outside for ball 1. So Goffstown only has 2 innings here, 6 outs to produce at least a game-tying run, or their playoff days are over.
Oh,
And she swings at a chin ball, I'd call. That one's like at her chin. Evens the count. A lot of chatter on the Goffstown bench. And she was way ahead of that one. So it's a 1-2 count to Gifford here in the bottom of the 6th inning. I apologize. Sanborn has a 1-0 lead. They clawed a run together. And that ball's hit sharply, and that's in the gap. That'll be a double for Gifford. And a really good, that was the best hit of the day for Goffstown. Hit a gapper into left center field. And now Brennan is up with a runner in scoring position, but Liv has had a tough go of it on her first 2 at-bats.
Got to get this runner to
She's
third.
K'd twice. This is an opportunity to get her over to third with a bunt. Oh my goodness gracious. You got to get the ball down. You cannot pop up a bunt here. But this is what we talked about before. I mean, this is not a good bunting team. I saw them practice yesterday, and there's only a few players who can get the bunt down. I got to be candid. And so far, this has been the 3rd bunt that's been up in the air. There you go. Executed well by Brennan. Prove me wrong. Good job, Liv.
That one worked.
Excellent bunt by Liv Brennan. Did her job.
Now we got to get something out of Watterson. 2 strikeouts so far.
Makes me eat crow.
Yep.
That's good. We'll take that every day of the week. And now Watterson.
Come on.
So now do you bunt Watterson?
No.
You don't think?
No.
Do you? I think you do. I think you bunt her. They're going to walk Watterson.
See? So she's going to be at second.
So now she takes second. And I think you. Yeah. Right. And that's now we got Coach Fleming talking to Mullen. Probably saying let Justine Watterson take 2, and in the worst scenario, get into a rundown. Right. I got to say, that's a little bit surprising to me. Maybe they thought that if they were going to, but I don't know what you gain by doing that if you're. Okay, so indifference goes to Watterson, so she takes 2. And now what? Now do you bunt her again? I say yes. I say yes. Oh, my goodness gracious. An 0-2 count to Mullen. A runner at second and third. A single could make us a lead here. Woo, high and outside. 1-2 count for Mullen. So runners, this is the best opportunity that Goffstown has had all day long. One out. Runners at second and third. Mullen is at the plate. And she looks at strike 3. You got to swing. With this type of umpire, Bill, you got to swing. You got to swing at that one. So so now we've got Alex Page, and Page had a bunt and then a single. So she's had success today. Let's see if she can bring home a run here. She swings at a little bit of a high one. Now the runner at third is Gifford, and she's got to pay attention for any type of passed ball, wild pitch.
Go as far as the third base.
She's got it right. She's got to take a good, strong lead. Let's see. I'll see what she does here on this one. And she's got to run. And I'll tell you, on that, I watched Gifford on that one. She didn't come off hard on that. So that was Goffstown's best opportunity, and they squandered it, unfortunately. Runners at second and third with only one out. Mullen went down, strike 3, looking, and then a pop-up to the second baseman, and didn't really even get a chance to even try to execute some plays. And I think in that situation, what was tough was that we didn't make them have to make a play.
Right.
That was the tough part.
Yep.
So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can execute a bunt, let's say Mullen can execute a bunt, in that situation, she forces Sanborn to make a play. Throw it to first, and maybe Gifford can score. If they don't throw it to first, then it's bases loaded. Okay? But, again, we go to the top half of the second. Give Sanborn credit. They got out of a jam there. So Tebow gave up a leadoff double by Shannon Gifford, and they were able to hold Goffstown scoreless in that bottom half of the sixth.
We got to get out of this and then clean.
Yeah. So you're going to have Peterson, Lendry, and Page in that bottom half of the seventh inning for Goffstown. And unfortunately, Page got a single.
Right.
So they're going to have to scrap to get to the top of the order. The hardest thing, as you know, for any, whether it's baseball or softball, is closing out a game. So, but we kind of called this from the beginning. We said that this would probably boil down to who can play the cleanest type of game, and in that
mistake-free. Yeah.
Right, in that top of that sixth inning, it was that walk and it was a hit and the wild pitch that did it, and then also just no one getting over to second base. And you know what? And here's the thing, Bill, is that when you have a runner at first, you gotta squeeze to second on that, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that always the play? You have to shorten up.
There's got to be a lot of talk in the infield.
Nice pitch by Gifford. It's an 0-2 count.
So in that situation, Watterson says, I'm covering second when the ball hit back to him.
Oh, my goodness. That was awful call. I'm sorry, but, I know that we're homers here, but there was no way that was a strike.
Oh, my God.
That's a strike. I'm serious, Bill. That I think that one was the toughest call all day long. I mean, I thought that second at bat for Gifford was a tough third, but that one I thought was worse. A 1-1 count to Gannon. She's Struck out and walked. That's a beautiful pitch. Took a little off that one. And now it's a 1-2. And that's a pop-up out of play. So you're right. Gifford has to kind of bear down here and keep this thing a one-run game just to give Goffstown even a chance. But, you know, they had an opportunity there in that bottom half of the second with runners at second and third with one out. And that'll do it for Gannon. She strikes out for her second time. And now Nicole Tebow, the pitcher, she struck out her first 2 at-bats.
Right.
So, but you know what? Tebow has done a masterful job in the circle. Regardless of what she's done with the bat, and that's an out to Mullen. So here we go. We head into the bottom of the 7th inning. Rally caps go on, and Goffstown needs 1 run to tie, 2 runs to win. But I tell you, the way things are going right now for Sanborn, they played a very clean game. There's been have they had any errors, except for that maybe that one on third base, the bunt. That was about it. But other than that, they played super clean, great defensively. So, and I give all the credit in the world to Tebow. I mean, she's kept Goffstown batters off balance all day long, except for a good hit by Alex Page and then that recent double by Shannon Gifford. Goffstown's bats have not done well against her. So,
you know what I like to hear now? Somebody on the team get emotional.
Yeah.
Get emotional. Get on them. Come on, you want to go on. You don't want this to be your last game. Some of you have to produce.
And I'll tell you, you know, I think in this situation, let's see how we've done with Goffstown hitters. We've got Peterson. What's she done?
2 strikeouts.
Yeah, so you got to consider, do you pinch hit for Peterson in this situation? I mean, she struck out twice.
Who do you
and
have?
her at bats, then you put in Baldigo, you put in somebody else, you put in Kylie Still. But he's going to have her bat. But again, you got to kind of look at like what's been going on and look at the at bats. She's kind of struggled at the plate in her first 2 appearances, so. And she shows bunt, brings the bat back, but then it goes right by her.
You're not going to bunt your way on here. Look.
No way. No way. Again, it's that long swing, and, you know, yeah, and
she's falling back as
she's not pushing in through the ball.
needs to bend her knees a little bit.
and she strikes out for the 3rd time. So now Lendry comes up, and again, she's popped to short and also popped up to the second baseman, right?
Right. Hasn't got the ball really out of the infield. But
think
she's
that's
got the bat on the ball.
yeah,
that's the key thing.
So getting back to Pierce, that's a tough spot. You know, you're a freshman, first varsity season, and you're playing in a playoff game due to Sarvella's injury. And I don't know. So we've got Kara Lendry, and she takes one that's over her head for ball 1.
Are you sure?
Lendry's job here is just got to get on base. Got to get a base runner here. That's it. Good eye by Lendry. Let her pitch 3 straight strikes here. Let's see it. Like I said, the hardest thing is to close out a game. Good pitch by Tebow on the inside part of the plate for the first strike. Now let's see, Lendry will be a hitter again.
Rise ball. Way underneath it.
Back on the heel.
Yeah, there's. 3-2 count. You know, something I noticed, though, is like, you ever saw the Goffstown, like, on-deck hitters? It's like, when you're on deck, you're supposed to time your swing with the pitcher so you kind of get the timing going. They don't do that. They just look. You'll see. It's like just why bother doing that? And Lendry draws a walk, so she does her job. And now Goffstown has the tying run at first base with Bree Page. I've always been, told, I've always coached kids, when you're in the on-deck circle,
you got to pay attention to what the game is.
I want you to pay attention to what's going on. That's one. But two, you can time, the pitcher's speed. And I love Lendry as a base runner, too. She's smart. You saw that she took a real good lead on that first one. You got to get the ball in play here if you're Goffstown. You cannot go down, on a call strike 3. That's hit up the middle. That's going to be a tough play. And that's going to be a single. So runners at first and second for Goffstown with only one out.
We're going to give her a single.
And we've got Tegan Coyle coming up with Gifford on deck. So this is exactly what Goffstown needs.
Number 12, Tegan Coyle.
Lendry at second. Bree Page at first. Tegan Coyle at the plate. She shows bunt. Why? Tell me why. Why are you bunting here? Are you just basically saying no? Here's why I'm going to say that. If you bunt, you're going to intentionally walk Gifford,
Yep.
and so
I
it doesn't
agree.
do you any good.
I agree.
So just let Coyle has had a good at bats. Let her hit.
Don't take the bat out of her hand.
Got to let her hit. All right.
That's why.
Yeah, she can swing. Let her do it. Here's the other thing. You are in no worse shape. If Tegan Coyle pops up, grounds out, strikes out, you still got a runner in scoring position with Gifford up anyway. And she hits a deep fly ball.
Come on.
That could be out of here. That is gone! A walk-off 3-run home run for Tegan Coyle,
right.
and Goffstown wins the game. Holy cow! A 3-run walk-off home run for Tegan Coyle, and that ends it for Sanborn. Holy cow! What a game! What a finish!
As we said,
and that do not take the bat out of
her
Tegan
hand.
Coyle's hand. What a phenomenal game, and I'll tell you. What an ender. Tegan Coyle hits a 3-run home run, a walk-off, and Goffstown advances, and they will face the winner of either John Stark or Portsmouth. So we're going to head down, and we're going to talk to Tegan, and we're going to talk to Shannon and Coach Fleming in a few minutes. So, Bill, with that, good win for Goffstown. Tough loss for Sanborn. They were one couple outs away. From really cinching this one. They played their hearts out. So with that, we will head down and we will talk to the players. All right, I'm here with Coach Matt Fleming. Matt, what an ending to this one.
Yeah, you can't that's fairy tale ending right there.
Yeah, it is. So I just want to talk a little bit about so their pitcher, Tebow, she really had you guys on, the batters.
Yeah.
It was a tough day for the hitters today.
So, when we went out to Sanborn earlier in the year, she had recorded 13 strikeouts against us there. She works the outside real well, and she has a nice pitch that's sort of a combination rise/fastball, which, as you saw, was her go-to pitch, which was grabbing all of our good hitters.
And there was a lot of balls that were pop-ups because the players were kind of getting underneath it.
So they were using their scouting report properly. If you saw what they did, they intentionally walked Watterson there because of her potential. When we were at Sanborn, she was 4 for 4 against them. They didn't want to take a chance with her or Gifford. And we had been telling the girls all week long coming into this that they would have to, the rest of the lineup would have to decide the game. I'm super proud of Kara Lendry. A senior comes to the plate.
Oh, exactly.
She needs to just get on and give us a chance.
And she does it. And I
she
tell you, the bottom part of the order has been struggling, and her job was to get on, and Kara got on, and then both
full of emotion.
Both Alex and Bree Page have been hitting the ball pretty well, so she's able to also get on. And then we come up to a critical play, and that was Tegan Coyle.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if you heard us screaming, but we're like, what is Coach Fleming taking the bat out of her hands? What were you thinking when you
trying to draw the defense in? What we
Okay.
were trying to do is pull them in a little bit closer and then have her drive the ball out of the infield.
Okay,
so we
but she
needed-
actually
we
laid
didn't
down
want
a bunt.
I didn't want her to put it
Okay.
down. I just wanted
All right.
to pull the defense in and then take a shot at the next pitch.
Yeah, because
and,
we were kind of wondering that
yeah.
is if she does bunt, then they're going to walk Gifford anyway,
Correct.
and we don't gain anything by
correct. We knew that was what was going to happen, and so what we wanted to do is didn't want to give them the automatic out with the bunt play to shift them over, but we wanted to pull their defense in and keep them wondering.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
she fed one in, and Keegan got her hands.
Yeah,
Finally
I mean,
got her hands to that ball
that.
today.
She hit that ball probably 215 feet. I mean, it's a
And
really
she's been
great-
working hard all week, trying to keep her head down, keep her body down, drive the ball out of the infield. If you're going to have a day, have it right then
Oh,
there
I
in the
agree.
bottom of the 7th.
So it's not too many times that we see a 3-run walk-off home run in a playoff game here in Goffstown. That's what we saw today with Tegan Coyle. We'll talk to her in a few. Your opponent will probably be John Stark or potentially Portsmouth.
Yeah, that's a
Any-
well-matched game. I'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Either team is going to give us a real hard time. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Right, so if Portsmouth upsets John Stark, the game will be here on Saturday.
Correct.
If it goes the other way, John Stark wins, then you will be traveling to
Right.
John Stark.
Right,
So-
and we're excited for that. I think that these girls showed great resilience in the 7th. One thing that I told them was, no matter what happened, I wanted them to fight their way to the door, and they certainly did that today
Yeah.
for their fans and their families.
Well,
so
good luck, Matt.
thank you so
on
much
Saturday.
for everything.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it.
All right, we're here with Shannon Gifford. Shannon is a pitcher for Goffstown, did an awesome job. It's tough when you're a pitcher and you only give up 1 run and you could potentially lose a game. What's kind of going in your mind in that top of the 7th inning where you're down by 1?
I was pretty nervous, honestly. Right when I had that pass ball right before and she went to third, I got nervous and I just didn't want her to score, but she did. And then when Danny caught that fly ball, I was like, okay, there's 2 outs now. We just need a third, and then we need to go back and score a couple
so
runs.
you did a great job. I think they only had a couple of hits all game long. And then let's talk about your hitting. I mean, in that bottom of the 6th inning, you crush a double into the gap. What was your mindset on that one? Because your first 2 at bats weren't really that great.
Yeah, on that third at bat, I really just wanted to make contact. I just wanted to get a single at least just to get on because we needed base runners to score. But it was outside, and I was supposed to drive it to right, but ended up catching it and hitting it right to left. So.
All right. Well, you're going to play either John Stark or potentially Portsmouth on Saturday. I want to wish you good luck. You pitched a great game. All right. We saved the best for last. No disrespect to Shannon and Coach Fleming, but Tegan, wow. I mean, you're smiling. It's a great day. So what were you thinking? So you come up, you're in the bottom of the 7th, runners at first and second. I'm going to set this whole thing up. What was the sign from Coach Fleming with that bunt? Because we were a little confused as to why you were even attempting a bunt.
He told me to bunt to first, so I tried, but I fouled it off, obviously. So then after that, I was just determined to hit. I was like, I'm not getting out of this.
Yeah, we were screaming not only in that last at bat, but also in I think it was your second at bat where you also bunted, I think, to the third baseline. You've had really good success hitting.
Thank you.
Especially the second part of the season, you've been on fire, and I'm like, well, don't bunt her, let her hit away. And I think that you showed, at least you proved Bill and I right, that don't take the bat out of your hand. So then walk me through that pitch when you hit it. Tell me what happened.
It just came, and it was kind of right down the middle, and it just was like, okay, I'm swinging at this. Don't care where it goes, but I swung, and it just went super far.
All right, it didn't go super far. I think it went about 220 feet. So that was a monster home run, and I just want to congratulate you and wish you the best of luck on whoever you play on Saturday. So great game,
Thank
Tegan.
you so
All right.
much.